Welcome, welcome, welcome to this energetic NLP energy spa session. This is a really special one where we're working on Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde, and I'm thinking of it as like a Mercury retrograde vaccine. So, if you're not familiar with Mercury retrograde, I'll explain what that is in a moment. But very, very often when Mercury retrograde occurs, all kinds of chaos and havoc can happen. And spiritually, it's an important time. It's about going inward. So it's not like a bad thing, except on a practical level, it can be a bit chaotic. And the first time I ever heard about Mercury retrograde, I'd never heard of it before. I was going to this meeting. I used to subcontract for this consulting group, and we'd work with like Fortune 50 companies on leadership development, team development. And I went to our annual meeting, and I show up and my phone stops working and my computer stops working. And I met up with some of the people in the group and I go, I can't believe it. Just today, my phone stopped working and my computer stopped working. And somebody went, oh, well, Mercury went retrograde today. And I went, I don't know what that means. And they go, well, what's happening to you? Now, it's not always like that. So let me be clear. And there's different kinds of, I don't know much about astrology, but there's like different kinds of Mercury retrogrades. It depends on different things. But I have found over the years, not all the time, but often during Mercury retrogrades, a lot of things do become really difficult. And so the goal of this session is that we work with our energy and activate it so that rather than struggling through this Mercury retrograde, that we dance with it, that we flow with it. Because people are always saying things like, oh, Mercury retrograde, don't sign contracts, don't buy anything, don't make deals. Well, they last for weeks. So it's often not possible to do that. And Mercury retrogrades can be wonderful. I once took a 2-week vacation that was completely during Mercury retrograde. And one of the things that they tell you to avoid is travel, because plans and things can get messed up. But I just kept working with my energy and going, not gonna, everything's gonna be smooth. And if there are any problems, they'll work out really well. Everything's just gonna be really smooth. And it was just like this perfect 2-week vacation. So I don't want to implant the idea that it has to be a difficult period. I want to implant the idea that it can be not only this great period spiritually for introspection, but we don't have to sacrifice our practical lives to do it. So if you're listening to this, hopefully you're not watching this if you're driving, but if you're listening to this when you're driving, turn it off, even as a recording. Because even as a recording, the energies are going to be really strong, and the energies are designed to get you to go inward, so it's easy to make deep transformation, to clear old blocks and to open up more potential and abilities. Not how you want to be when you're driving. So never listen to any of these when I'm driving. And I'll just, before I forget, I'll mention, depending on when you're watching this, but it's now June 2021 as I'm recording this. And at the end of the month, the 26th, 27th, 28th, I'm doing my once-a-year program called Discover Your Miraculous Abilities. It truly is a life-changing program. You clear karma, you clear unconscious blocks, energetic blocks, you clear ancestral programming, societal programming, familial programming, childhood programming. You let go of limiting beliefs. And it's what we call an energy spa, just like this is. So it's easy, it's fun. You put your inner wisdom and spirit in charge. You don't have to think hard. You don't have to analyze yourself or figure out what your mother did and your father did and on and on and on. It's like going to the spa. If you go to get a massage, you just go, okay, make me better. And in the same way, you'll set intention, put your spirit and wisdom in charge, and then the magic will happen. So if I've intrigued you, you go to www.miraculous1.com. I'll show it here. So you go to miraculous1.com, and all the information is there, and you can see if it intrigues you. And a number of people in this session have been to it in the past. And it is for people that are new to energy work. It's also for people that are very experienced with energy work, because everybody will put their spirit and their inner wisdom in charge. So everybody gets their unique experience and gets whatever they need done. So again, all the information's on that page. So let's get in on today. And I don't think I've introduced myself. Hi, I'm Mark Giser. I'm the creator of Energetic NLP. And for the last 36 years, I've helped over 100,000 people all over the world have more miraculous lives, dissolve blocks, heal blocks, and open up more of their amazing spiritual potential. So again, today what we're working on is an expression I like to use that I got from my friend John Friedlander. One time he goes, well, you need to learn to dance with the unfolding of life. And I thought, oh, I really like that. That's a great idea. So we want to dance with the unfolding of this Mercury retrograde. You don't want to be in resistance to it, and you don't want to go, oh, there has to be problems. But we want to dance with the forces. And again, spiritually, it's a really good thing. We want to make sure on a practical level it's good. And it was funny yesterday. I spent all this time writing an email, and then I'm ready to send it out. And I keep getting these messages that it's triggering spam filters. It's going to go into spam. And I'm thinking, nothing in here that should be triggering spam filters. So I'm going through and I'm changing words, and I'm taking links out, and I'm putting links in different ways, and trying to think, what in the world's going on? And finally, I give up, and I call this technical support for this company. And it wasn't them that was calling it spam. A lot of, when you have a business email service, some of them, like Infusionsoft that I use, which is one of the main ones, they check and see, are you going to trigger the spam filters that the different companies use, the services use for email. And I get this guy on, and he goes, I don't see what the problem is either. He goes, but let me check things out. And I'm sure you all know what PayPal is. PayPal, everybody uses it on the internet. It's everything on eBay, I think, is PayPal, right? At least it used to be. So, it's a big, legitimate company. And because I had the word PayPal in there, it would have gone to spam. So the point, that's a very Mercury retrograde experience. Like, great, I just spent an extra hour and a half that I don't have, for something that doesn't even make sense to me. Because once we took that word out, everything was fine. So that's the kind of thing we want to avoid if possible during Mercury retrograde, or buying something that doesn't work, or there's a part missing, or making agreements and then there's problems. So I'm saying all of that to activate for your unconscious and for your spirit what we're working on. So the goal, again, the intention, is that whether, and I'm doing this during a particular Mercury retrograde, but they happen several times a year, so you can use the same meditation anytime Mercury is retrograde. Our goal is to dance with the unfolding of it, to not be in resistance to it, to not have unnecessary problems, and still get the benefits of Mercury retrograde. Okay, so easy deep breaths. There's 4 things that we always do in energetic NLP, and a couple of them are unique to energetic NLP. So the first one is intention, which is you're all familiar with. We set intention. And intention, actually, there's a lot more to intention than people think there is. Because your spirit has an intention, your soul has an intention, your conscious mind has one or more intentions, your unconscious mind has lots of intentions, and your body has intentions. And very often they don't line up, which is often why we can't manifest a particular thing, or we almost manifest it and it falls apart, or we manifest it and it falls apart. And when all of those line up, we call that whole being permission. And that also relates to your karma and your spiritual contracts, all of which can be changed. But that's one of the reasons often certain things in our lives just don't seem to work out, because we don't have all of that in permission and intention lined up. But for right now, even just setting your conscious intention is very important. So you'll set your conscious intention. You'll give conscious permission. And as I've said, there's all these levels of permission. But for right now, just giving conscious permission is really powerful. Then you'll use your imagination. You'll pretend. I discovered by accident and energetic NLP programs, as I said, I've been doing them for 36 years, that that the more playful people were, the more their lives got enhanced, the more they transformed, and the more their miraculous abilities came to the surface. Then if I could get them to act like a group of playful 5-year-olds, they did incredibly better than if they took it seriously. So as we do this process, the way to get the least out of it is to be going, am I doing it right? Is it working? Is Art doing it right? And on and on and on. For this time together, just pretend that it's working. Just imagine that it's working. And you'll find out if it worked or not. But for right now, just pretend that it is working. Bring out your playful 5-year-old. And just, if you were 5 years old and went, okay, we're going to change your energy so that you have a wonderful Mercury retrograde, you go, okay, and giggle, and we do it. And you would do it great. So now part of your mind will be doing all the analysis and blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. Just be mindful of that and respect that. But don't fight it. Don't feed it. Just leave it alone. You all know how to acknowledge somebody and then ignore them. You learned that at least when you were a teenager, if not younger. You'd be able to go, oh, I hear you. And then you just ignore it. So if things come up like that or any other kinds of resistance come up, like you may all of a sudden go, oh, there's something I have to do. I've got to do it right now. That's resistance. If you were able to get on this, start listening to this, you have time to finish it. And we're almost halfway through it anyways. So, and again, if things like that come up, just laugh, not laugh at them, but go, okay, yeah, that's resistance. I understand. While we're working, as the energy gets really flowing, you may temporarily feel aches or pains. Emotions may come up, and that's all good. If that comes up, just be mindful of it and go, okay, that's just the way I'm clearing blocks. You may yawn or want to stretch, or your eyes may water, or none of that may happen. You may feel the energy, or you won't feel the energy. None of that matters. Just let it be whatever it is, however it is. So I mentioned there were 4 things, but I only told you 3. So I said intention, permission, imagination. And the 4th is to put your miraculous self in charge. Put your miraculous self in charge. Now, if you're new to energetic NLP, your miraculous self is a unique concept of energetic NLP. Your miraculous self is not like your high self. Your high self just exists. Your miraculous self only kind of sort of exists until you exercise it, and then it gets strong. And then the more you work with it, the stronger and better it becomes. What it is, it's when your spirit with its vast perspective and your deep inner human wisdom with its very practical perspective, it's when they're aligned and working together. Because very often they're not aligned and working together. They're not necessarily fighting each other, but they're not necessarily aligned either. And that's because your spirit sees this vast perspective. It's kind of like the perfect parent. So it's thinking, well, whatever you want, dear. It sees a lot of things as being valid spiritual paths. And a lot of those valid spiritual paths you won't enjoy. So it isn't that your spirit doesn't care, but like a perfect parent, it's going, it's your life, and, within reasonable limits, I'll let you do what you choose, because they'll all be legitimate spiritual paths. So struggle, legitimate spiritual path. Ease, legitimate spiritual path. Lack is a legitimate spiritual path. Abundance is a legitimate spiritual path. So, but your deep inner human wisdom is very in touch with your human life. And so it's going, well, I know they're valid spiritual paths, but can we have more love? Can we have more abundance? Can we have more health? Can we have more vitality? Can we have more meaning, purpose, authenticity? Can we have more joy? And so when they work together, more and more your life becomes miraculous. And in energetic NLP processes, you always put your miraculous self in charge of what happens. That way you don't have to analyze, try to figure it out. Because most of the time, if you could have done it that way, you would have already done it. I mean, most of the people who come to these programs, we're all taught to analyze everything, and they can go on for hours about why they are the way they are, and mom did this, or dad did this, or there was this past life, or I made a mistake, or I had this trauma. And I'm not dismissing any of that. It's just none of that has to have the power that we give it. And when you put your miraculous self in charge, the real magic can happen. Because the past does not need to determine the present and future. The past does not need to determine the present and future. The present and future can create the present and the future, which is a whole other topic. But for right now, if this is appealing to you, set your intention that your miraculous self is being formed right now. And give 100% permission for it to be formed right now. And then imagine, pretend that it has been formed. Just pretend it's been formed. And for those who've done this before, pretend that it's evolving and its ability to communicate with you consciously, unconsciously, and directly with your physical body and your body systems. Just imagine right now that's getting better and better, more and more effective. Because our miraculous self, if we let it, will guide us, nurture us, support us, and heal us. And it will help us manifest. So right now, if you want, set your intention that what we're doing right now is going to make it possible for you to dance with the unfolding of Mercury Retrograde. That rather than being chaos and struggle, you're going to dance with it. And then give 100% permission for that to happen. And give 100% permission for your miraculous self to be in charge. So my job is to get the energies flowing in your space. And I'll bring in a whole symphony of energies, earth and universal energies. Your miraculous self will go, oh, I like this one, I like that one. It will decide what energies it wants to use, and it will decide what they do. It'll go, oh, I want to change this programming, or dissolve this block, or change this limiting belief. And when your miraculous self does that, as soon as those are dissolved or cleared or healed, it will replace them with skills, wisdom, concepts, and abilities from your miraculous self, from your spirit and deep inner human wisdom. And just let all that happen beyond your conscious awareness. The less you try to control it, the more you'll get out of this. And you're not turning over control to me. You're turning over control to your own spirit and your own deep inner human wisdom. So you can absolutely trust what they do. And by the way, the ability to do remote energy work, no matter where people are in the world, and the ability to do it in such a way that even on recordings it works, because it works even on recordings. Just pretend it's happening now and it will work. The ability to do that, every person in the world can do it. The funny thing is it's not even hard. I've taught many people to do it. In that program at the end of the month, people will be learning how to do it. It's really quite easy. Like anything else, of course, you develop layers of skills. But even at the very beginning, you'll be able to do miraculous things. And that's what I really love about it, is right from the beginning, your life gets more synchronistic and miraculous. And with their permission, you can help other people's lives be more miraculous and synchronistic, whether it's in a work setting, whether it's as in the helping professions, whether it's friends, families, again, with their permission, or just doing it with yourself. Okay, so we've set our intention to dance with the unfolding of Mercury retrograde. We've given 100% permission. We're imagining it's happening. We've given 100% permission for our miraculous selves to be in charge. So now take a couple easy deep breaths. imagine a giant gold ball of energy, and that's our NLP energy spa space, our energetic NLP energy spa space. And we're all inside of it no matter where we are in the world, or even if you're listening to this as a recording. And at the end, it'll be dissolved. But while we're working together, we're all in this beautiful gold energy ball. And our miraculous selves are bringing in other energies, amethyst energies, which are lavenders to dark purples. And those are energies that dissolve blocks and open up more of our potential. But there's a whole rainbow of energies, and energies that are beyond the rainbow, that we can't see with our eyes. Just a whole symphony of energies are coming in that our miraculous selves know will be able to help us. And set your intention that every single one of us, as a result of what we're doing now, is going to get a wonderful enhancement in dancing with the unfolding of the Mercury retrograde. Just set your intention that every single one of us is having that happen right now, including you. Okay, just relax now. And often I talk people through this, but I feel like today, I may, if I get the message to say things, I will, but otherwise I'm not going to say much. Just know that the energies are working wherever your miraculous self wants. In the 7 main chakras, the chakras that are above the head going up at least 3 meters, 9 feet, the chakras that are below your feet in your energy field, going down at least 1 meter, 3 feet. Your whole energy field that's around you in all directions and goes in you. Your energy channels. Your central energy channel, the Sushumna that goes up near the spine. The Kundalini channels that wrap around your spine. And all the other channels, chakras, energy points in your body. The miraculous self can work with any of those it wants to right now, to clear them, heal them, activate them, and set them for dancing with the unfolding of Mercury retrograde. Take a couple easy deep breaths. Remember to smile, be playful, just pretend that it's working. Some of you are getting serious. Go ahead and smile. If you smile, it actually physiologically changes your body. Easy deep breaths. Let it be easy, magical, miraculous. It's interesting, in somewhere between some of you and many of you, there's like a part that, like the programming is kind of going, I'm not going to let Mercury retrograde control me, with that kind of an attitude. So it's in resistance to it. So just kind of talk to yourself and kind of go, that's not going to work. That's like going, I'm not going to let gravity affect me. Again, I'm not saying just because it's Mercury retrograde, things have to happen the way astrology says it's going to happen. I'm not saying that at all. But to me, I say kind of like the weather. So certain kinds of weather make certain things more difficult. It doesn't mean you can't do them. It just means, you have to approach it differently and deal with it differently and be in it differently. And I'm always amazed how many people are in resistance to the weather, like they fight the weather. It's kind of like, it's going to be cold and rainy, whether you want it to be. It's like, how about just accepting it and dance with it? So I think you get my drift. So just kind of remind part of you, like, that kind of resistance is understandable. But the way that, if you want to have more control, the way to have more control is to dance with it. It's like snowboarding or skiing or surfing. You work with what's going on. You dance with it. You don't control it. And the goal is it's not controlling you, but that's because you're dancing with it. Okay, let's go back to the energy. And ask your miraculous self to gather skills, concepts, and abilities that would help you dance with the unfolding of Mercury retrograde. So it can go through the cosmic library and find things that would help you and copy them. Not take things, but copy them. So let your miraculous self discover and copy skills, concepts, and abilities that will help you dance with the unfolding of Mercury retrograde. And it will also help you dance with the unfolding of life in general. And as your miraculous self finds them, let them be downloaded into you, just like a computer download. And then give your miraculous self permission after it downloads them, just like a computer download, it needs to install them. And after it downloads it, after it installs it, then it needs to run them. And you give your miraculous self permission to run them when they're appropriate. So they don't have to be running 24/7, but when you want them or need them. Let's bring in energy to help you process and integrate what we've just done, because you'll be processing this for days. So the processing energy will help it easily, naturally integrate the benefits into your life. If you're doing anything after this session that requires safety, set your intention and give permission for your unconscious mind and your miraculous self to make sure you're grounded, safe, and alert. Grounded, safe, and alert. Grounded, safe, and alert. And then tonight and for the next 4 nights, part of the time when you're sleeping, just part of the time, your unconscious mind and your miraculous self will review what we did. It'll be infused with wisdom, skills, concepts, and abilities from your miraculous self. It'll be made deeper, richer, wider. It'll be made higher and more multidimensional. And most importantly, it'll be automatically integrated into your life. So while you sleep soundly, deeply, and wake up feeling refreshed, it will be automatically integrated into your life. The benefits will be automatically integrated into your life tonight for the next 4 nights. Let's dissolve that group energy space, that gold and amethyst ball of energy. And it's really important, ask your miraculous self to retrieve your energy out of my space and everybody else's space who was in the session. If you don't do that, you'll be depleted and it's not good for us. So just tell your miraculous self to pull all of your energy back to you. We'll pull all of our energy out of your space. And whenever you've been clearing energy, it's important to fill back up because something will fill it up. We want to decide what that is. So give your miraculous self permission to bring more of your authentic essence and to bring that in and ground it into your body and energy field, into your cells, into your DNA, into your chakras, energy channels, your energy field. And it can also bring in earth and universal energies that will support you now and in your next steps in life and support you in dancing with the unfolding of the Mercury Retrograde. In an energetic NLP, there's something that we do, we call them spiritual emails. After you've done powerful energy work, your energy field is better and it's different. So sometimes, and people aren't usually aware of it unless they're trained in energy, but they just feel like there's something different. You know how like sometimes you're with a friend and something's different and you're not quite sure what's up? And it's not that it's bad, it's just different. And it really can affect pets. They get confused because your energy's different all of a sudden. So all you do is you ask your miraculous self to send out spiritual emails. And the spiritual emails are not looking for approval. You're just informing people like, this is how my energy is now. It's like changing an email address, like this is my new energy address. So just imagine those emails going out to everybody in your life, including your pets and your plants, and including the people that your spirit is arranging for you to meet, but you haven't met them yet. So they're getting informed too. And maybe even emails going out to people that you weren't going to meet, but now that your energy is improved, you're a better the two of you are a better match. So if there's any of those, your miraculous self can send them an email so that your spirits, your miraculous selves can arrange for you to meet. Okay, easy deep breaths. And finally, imagine a column of energy coming up from the earth to ground you. And let the earth do all the work. You're just giving permission. So you're setting intention, giving permission, and then just imagining that this column of energy comes up from the earth near the base of your spine. And give the earth permission to ground only your authentic energy into your body. So it's only grounding your authentic energy into your body. All the other energies stay loose. And if there's any energies in your energy field that aren't yours and aren't helpful, your miraculous self, any of them that it wants to remove, it can just send that grounding into the earth, and then those energies will get recycled. So again, energies that aren't yours and aren't helpful, your miraculous self can send any of those it wants to into the earth. And your miraculous self can draw up from the earth energies that are nurturing, loving, all this Mother Nature, Mother Earth energy. Even if you're in the middle of a concrete city, those energies are available. The loving, nurturing, acknowledging energies, the healing energies, the energies that will help you manifest a more miraculous life. So there's the release down and then the flow up of what nurtures you. And then go ahead and stomp your feet and pat your body. And it's good if you take your right hand and pat the left side of your body, and your left hand and pat the right side of your body. Helps kind of integrate things. There we go. And it's good to stretch, move a little bit if you want. I mean, you can stretch a lot and exercise hard if you want. But at least do some movement stretching, because now that your energy field's realigned, your body can realign in a better way. So, and it's important to drink water, because your body releases toxins, whatever the heck they are, but that's what everybody calls them. But it releases chemicals when your energy field changes, which is good. You want that. And if you drink water, you wash it out. If you don't drink water, it can make you a little sluggish tomorrow. So be sure to drink some water. And water as in water, not water as in beer, tea, coffee, wine. Not that you can't have those, but be sure to have some water. And so do remember, if you go to, let me flash it up on the screen again now. If you go to miraculous1.com, the word miraculous, the number 1.com, there's all the information about the Discovery of Miraculous Abilities program at the end of the month. I hope you'll be there. He says, with all modesty, it's a life-changing, incredible program. It's fun. This is the first time people haven't had to fly in and get hotels and Airbnbs and rent cars or whatever. It'll all be online, and it's being done at a time that works both for the Americas and for Europe and probably parts of Africa, in the Middle East. I mean, it's doable on all of those. And it's much more reasonable. People like Tony Robbins does them until they go 3 in the morning in Europe and stuff. So it's nothing like that. So I've planned it so that it can accommodate a lot of time zones. So I hope you'll check it out. And if you want, even once you sign up for it, you can become a partner with Energetic NLP if you want to, and let other people know about it. But all the information's on the page. So thank you for being part of this. Please let people know about that program. I would really appreciate it. And I really appreciate you and your being in this session. I know I feel really great. I hope all of you do too. And you can continue to comment for a while. I'm going to turn off the video. So have a wonderful Mercury retrograde. It is possible. And I'd love to hear people's experiences later. So bye, everybody.